Oh, hey, well, we are about to start, my friend. Stay there, stay there. Hello there, my friend. How are you doing today? Lots of love to yourself, man. Are you full of wisdom or you would like to add some to it today? Because, my friend, there's something here. Something, good vibes, something. A gift for you for clicking this video. And that gift, my friend, is extremely precious because it's something that some very wise guy from this book once asked for it from God, and his wisdom, the gift of today, which comes from this book, my friend, specifically from James 3:17. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere, peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. My friend, today we shall be reacting together to videos with the intentions of spreading love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness to the whole world. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and join us on our mission. But my friend, it will be nice if we give thanks to our Creator before we dive in. And let's do so. Dear Lord Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the fruits that we have. The videos, Father, thank you for them. Thank you, dear Lord, for the person that I've complained with and this person that is watching. Help us, dear Lord, together to spread love to the whole world and guide us through. Fill us with your spirit, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good vibes sauce.
Human skin cannot sense wetness. If you're older than 24, you're older than every dog on earth. And if you're older than 28, you're older than every cat on earth. Koalas have fingerprints almost identical to human beings. When we dream, we're completely convinced that it's not an illusion. So what makes you think that this is real right now? You don't actually see the things that you see, you just see the way that light reflects the things that you see. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. If you stare at a mirror for 10 minutes with a dim light, you'll see ghosts. Half the population has below average intelligence, you can tell by just going on Twitter. When dogs go deaf, they don't understand. They think you just stopped talking to them. There's a different version of you in the minds of every single person you've ever met. And none of those versions are the way you see yourself. The oldest tree on Earth is 4,588 years old. Mosquitoes are the deadliest animal on Earth.
I am not saying that what this person caught on camera was absolutely a walker, but I'm not saying it wasn't because, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this video. So a creator that goes by this name captured a pretty terrifying video and they posted 2 videos, so we're gonna look at them together and then talk.
What the actual... It just made sounds. Yo, that looks like a...
This is the second video.
Otis has been acting strange. I'm out here in the forest, and there's been something. It's gone.
It's not
I
gone.
hear some weird shit. There it is. It's moving. I don't know what that is. It's like standing up. It just hid behind the tree. I'm gonna stay I can stay here all day. I'm gonna stay. Look, there! Yeah, see? Where is it? Ah! I just saw its eyes. I saw its eyes low.
I understand videos can be faked, but I don't think that one was. The feeling I got in my gut, no thanks. I don't like that. Well, if I had to see it and be scared, you guys did too, so happy nightmares.
If guys are playing other guys and girls are playing other girls, is it so far-fetched to think that girls would be playing guys? Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Adele looks an awful lot like Sam Smith. And their eyes, nose, and mouth just happen to be perfectly symmetrical to each other. And they even have the exact same finger spacing, where these two fingers seem to hang out together. And I kind of wonder what she means when she says this.
I'm trying to not always be two completely different versions of myself, because it's exhausting. Like, you know, switching on and switching off and so that. Switching on and switching off and so that.
Oh, craziest rumor you've ever heard about yourself. All right, that is a good one.
Everyone seems to think that I'm Adele. In drag. Because we've never been seen in the same room together. And if you slow down her voice, it sounds maybe a bit like mine. So people think that we're the same person, and I'm just in drag right now.
It's so funny. It's so funny that we're gonna laugh about it when we're telling you the truth.
Gloria in school through singing hymns and stuff. But for me, Gloria is something that I've called a spirit inside.
I wonder who that spirit could be inside of him. And have you ever seen how they dance? Come on. It's okay. It's okay. You can see it. It's okay. You'll be all right. And for those of you short-circuiting right now and saying, but why would they even do this? Well, because if they can have a smaller group of people in the know of the manipulation of the world, then it's a lot easier to control. But as always, I'm sure this is just a large coincidence. Entertainers move alike and look alike. People have doppelgangers and have exact same symmetry of their faces all the time. Entertainment only.
Medical things they don't tell you, part 34. If you're unable to make a medical decision, let's say because you're intubated and you're unconscious, and you did not have a durable power of attorney, the order of people that would make that choice for you would be first your spouse, then your adult children, then your parents, then your siblings.
They're the most insane examples of the Mandela effect. Many people remember Apple having a rubber emoji when it actually never existed. People remember Pikachu having black on the tip of his tail when it was actually yellow. Most people remember the Mona Lisa looking like this, with just a small smirk, when in the real painting, she's smiling. The laughing cow never had a gold nose ring. Fruit Loops is spelt with the double O. Jiffy peanut butter never existed. It was just Jif. The Skechers logo never had a T in it. And Mickey Mouse didn't wear overalls, just pants.
Whenever we receive material that's difficult to identify, we use this laser analyzer and it'll tell us exactly what the material is made of. The other day when I was here making a video about this stainless steel you see behind me, there was a piece of material that looked like steel in this pile, but it did not stick to a magnet. So let's find out what it is. So this piece is fairly large and it was in the edge of the stainless steel pile, but it looks like a rusty piece of steel. But it does not stick to a magnet. And so the guys probably thought since it didn't stick to a magnet, it had to be stainless. I'm getting ready to shoot this piece so we know exactly what it's made out of, but if you're familiar with scrap, you may have a good idea, so leave a comment down below and let me know what you think it is. I did go ahead and grind down a spot so we have a clean surface to analyze. And it's pretty easy, you just put the gun up against the clean surface and pull the trigger, and then it will tell you what it's made of. So this piece is 25% iron and 72% manganese. So this is manganese steel. And not only is manganese steel non-magnetic, but it's harder than regular steel and it's very wear resistant, which is why it's typically used in industries like rock crushing and mining.
Found this crispy fucking thing in the yard. What is that, is that a fucking squirrel?
I just caught a fairy. A fairy landed on me.
Fairies are real?
Heck yeah, they are. Yeah, got a fairy.
I didn't know that.
While I was collecting eggs, a fairy landed on me. It's in my hand. Magical.
I'm having a hard time.
Oh my god. I have a question. What the hell is this? What the hell is this?
Well,
Fairies live there. Definitely.
This flower is legit spinning around. What?
Whoa! Whoa! Noticed these mushrooms on the ground, and I came over to discover that it's a huge ring that goes all the way around and comes over there. And my husband decided to go inside the fairy ring. I don't know what that means anymore.
This is a legit minutes. All put our phones away.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
Did you know that there is a lamp that works without electricity or kerosene? This lamp, invented 125 years ago and used in many wars, is called a carbide lamp. In order for this lamp to work, it requires calcium calcite, or carbide, which is obtained by melting lime and coal. These stones, called carbide, are placed in the chamber of the lamp, and only water is added on top. The water and carbide react to produce a highly flammable gas called acetylene. Since this gas does not emit smoke when burning and gives more light than the lamps of the time, it was used in bicycles, mines, and even in cars at one time.
Have you ever wondered why we have a king, a queen, and a jack? Why not a prince? Well, that's because he was never actually part of the royal family at all. He's not even an earl or a nobleman. And originally, they weren't even called jacks. Playing cards have a long and complicated history, dating back hundreds of years before they made it to the West. But when playing cards reached Europe in the mid-1300s, we fell in love with the many different games that could be played with just 52 cards. But the cards back then were a little different. In fact, the European decks had all male court cards, no queens and no jacks in sight. Instead, the cards were played with a king, a cavalier, and a knave. So basically, the king and his armies. The knave card was never a prince and never part of the royal house. It represented the lowest ranking courtiers like foot soldiers or knights or even pages. Basically, he was seen as a male servant with no particular role. In fact, playing cards aside, knave was a term that's been used since the 13th century to mean a servant boy or squire or someone of low birth. Of course, it's also used to mean a dishonest and unscrupulous man, which explains why the knave of hearts stole the queen of hearts' tarts. Anyway, you get the idea. Knaves were the lowest of the low and definitely not part of the royal family. Over the next couple of hundred years, queens started to pop their heads up in decks of cards until sometime in the 1500s when the French adopted the queen into the deck permanently. And it was these French cards that went on to become the basis of the standard pack we know today. And for a while, we all happily played with kings, queens and knaves. In fact, it was the knave that gave its name to the most popular card game of its time, the Knave of Spades. But then, cards hit a snag. To make it easier to play, cards started to be printed with numbers and letters in the top corners, so you could easily tell which cards were in your hand by fanning them out. Only trouble was, both king and knave start with a K. They tried shortening knave to KN, but it was still way too confusing, so they switched it out for a jack. Why jack? Well, because since the 17th century, jack was used to mean any generic man. It's what gave us things like Jack in the Box and Jack of all trades. In fact, when it came to naming cards in the 17th century game of all fours, the term jack was already used in place of knave. And since it was already part of a popular game, when looking for a way to distinguish between kings and knaves, it just made sense to call the knave a jack. And so, in 1864, the change was made. We ditched the noble, if not unscrupulous knave and swapped it for the generic jack. And we've been playing with jacks ever since. So even though a royal flush includes a jack, he couldn't be further from the royal family. He's just a demoted knave, a jack of all trades, that hangs around the castle leaving everyone wondering what his position actually is.
These good-looking fishes or animals. And this fish looks... This one looks like it even have a beak. English people. All this you mean were created by the Supreme God? Or my friend, this is CGI. This is unbelievable. Look at some of them look like aliens from the movies. Oh, well, I don't even think there's a name for this one. English people, look at this giant bacteria there in the water. Is this one, does it eat people? English people, do you eat these ones? How does it work? This one is crazy. Oh, wow, 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 wow. I thought you have seen it all. Guy. My God. This is crazy. You see, this might be one of the reasons as to why humans were not born when knowing how to swim. You see?
This baffled scientists for decades until now. This is the WOW signal. It was a powerful and shocking radio signal detected in 1977 that appeared to come from deep space. And for over 4 decades, it's been one of the most intriguing and unexplained signals ever recorded, sparking speculation that it might be the message from aliens. Scientists now believe that the WOW signal might have come from a cold cloud of hydrogen in our galaxy that was suddenly brightened by an intense cosmic event like a flare from a magnetar. Magnetars are incredibly powerful neutron stars with magnetic fields that are 1 trillion times stronger than Earth's. And when these monsters flare up, they can release massive amounts of energy. And if one of those flares hits a nearby hydrogen cloud, it could cause what's called stimulated emission. Basically, it's when radiation passing through the cloud causes the hydrogen atoms in it to emit lots of light all at the same frequency or color, causing the cloud to suddenly glow brighter at the exact frequency where the WOW signal was detected. And this new hypothesis not only explains the WOW signal's narrowband frequency and the short duration, but also why it was a one-time event. Want to know more? I'm going to be doing a deep dive into this research, so let me know your questions and keep an eye out for a longer YouTube video soon.
They try to erase this Egyptian pharaoh from history. This is the pharaoh Akhenaten, likely the father of the famous pharaoh Tutankhamun. He ruled for 17 years, but after he passed, ancient Egyptian pharaohs following him tried to erase him from history. They destroyed his sculptures and monuments. We only know about him because his tomb was discovered. Well, what did he do that was so bad? He basically tried to change the ancient Egyptian religion. Ancient Egypt was polytheistic, there were many gods, right? But he wanted everyone to worship only one, the god Aten, who, unlike other Egyptian gods, was not depicted in some sort of humanoid form, but rather as simply a sun disk. And he was to be considered Aten's intermediary, the only one that could channel Aten's divine will.
Okay, so we're at Disneyland, right across from Big Thunder Mountain. There's this pond. And there's something jump right there. Is that, we can't tell if it's real. Like, what is that? That's fake. That's not real. But what is it? It's not real.
This is how you grow hundreds of dollars worth of gourmet mushrooms in old 5-gallon buckets. Starting off, you're going to need some straw. You're going to want to sterilize it, so put it in some boiling water and let it sit for a little bit. While that cools down, drill some holes in a 5-gallon bucket all the way around. And then once it's cooled and drained, still wet, but drained, you are going to want to start creating your mushroom lasagna. So in with some straw, then with your grain spawn. This is a pink oyster mushroom mycelium spawn. Whoop, got a little much. Everything's fine. More straw. And once you're done, you're going to close it up and tape off all those little holes. Then you're going to put it in a spot that's nice and cool and dark for about 2 weeks, removing the tape once your spawn looks a little something like this. It's not mold, that is mushrooms in the making. And give it a few days and boom, mushrooms, baby!
What you truly want is hidden behind all the things you're scared to do because of what you think others will think of you.
We are practically blind when you consider how narrow is the slice of the electromagnetic spectrum our retina shows us. You know, you open a book and it has colors of the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And so it fills the page, but you look at the entire range, and I'll recite that now. It goes from high energy to low energy. You go from gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet. You do words you did backwards. Violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, yellow, red. Then you come out of the red, you get infrared, and then you get microwaves, and then you get radio waves. When you put all that on one page, visible light is this tiny little sliver.
This post is going to piss off a lot of people, but it has to be said. If you are a patient with a chronic disease, a rare disease, an autoimmune condition, you know more about your problem than 99% of the doctors you are going to come in contact with. And that's not to say that there aren't incredible experts in your field who know what they're talking about. I'm Dr. Erin Nance, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon, the founder of Feel Better, and I just call it like I see it. If someone comes into my office and they tell me they have a rare disease that I have never heard of, I am walking out and Googling what this is on my phone. And you're gonna be interacting with all different types of doctors your whole life. ER doctors, other primary care doctors, specialists like orthopedic surgeons, ENT doctors, right? And we will not always know all of the conditions that everyone has. So I want you to believe in yourself and understand that you hold a lot of power, okay? You are probably the expert in this condition at this point. And it may require being patient with some physicians who just aren't familiar with that condition. It doesn't mean that we can't then research how that condition affects the specialty that we work in. But I don't want you to discount your own knowledge and your own lived experience with this problem. And if you've ever experienced this where you don't think the doctor knows what your problem is, please share your story. You never know who's watching these videos, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you feel better.
Did you know that politicians and companies will spread rumors about themselves that makes them look bad? It's called reverse programming. It's a super common thing that we did in politics. So what reverse programming is when you feed out fake information that is later disproven, and it hurts the credibility of the people who spread that information. Former President Barack Obama used this technique. So you remember about 10 years ago, there was all these rumors going around that he was born in Kenya, and people were wondering, Barack, why don't you just send your birth certificate out? But he didn't do that. He just let the rumors ride, and after a while, once they reached a critical mass and all the conspiracy guys were saying he's definitely Kenyan, we got him, he came out with his birth certificate and he made them all look, well, less influential in the eyes of people around them. And the people who were pushing these rumors, they tried to double down. Oh, it was Photoshop. Oh, it was this. But the damage was already done and their credibility was shot. He was a smart politician. This type of propaganda isn't about convincing the other side that they should support you. Rather, it's about taking the people who are your biggest detractors and limiting the influence they have in their spheres of influence. But once you see this, it's like impossible to unsee it. Now that you've seen this video, when you start to see that clickbaity stuff, you're going to realize this is actually reverse programming, which is a bread and butter propaganda technique. Anyway, I hope this is of value to you. Hopefully you won't fall for these tricks in the future. See you guys on the next video.
I don't know how this can be so spooky, but also incredible at the same time. These are supposed images of beyond the ice wall, and what's so creepy about it is there doesn't seem to be much sign of life anywhere. It just seems to be endless continents we've never seen before, full of just forests and not many buildings or boats anywhere. And if you don't know about the theory of the ice wall, let me explain it to you. So on the flat Earth map, people believe that Antarctica is actually a ring that surrounds all of our continents, but there are openings in it that lead to other secret continents that some people claim to have ventured to. And this is the first time we've seen a supposed leaked ice wall photo ever since we saw this one over a year ago. And this one is mind-blowing because it shows lush vegetation right next to an ice wall and a type of city that we've never seen before. Those buildings are egg-shaped, which is just super cool. And I know what you might be thinking, it's all just AI. But I put it in this AI detector and it said that it's most likely to be legit. And this one I actually do think is real, because if you zoom in, you can see a lot of detail that you wouldn't see on an AI generated photo. But the photos from the first part of the video were obviously AI. I knew that right away, but it is just fun to hope that it could actually be true.
This is a bottle drum. Any questions?
Oh my god! What is that?
Oh, bloody door. What the hell? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? Kaylee?
Yeah?
Grab your phone and film and go to the back bedroom. I'm pretty sure someone's just climbed on the roof.
On the roof? Okay, give me a second. Oh my god! What is that?
Do you ever actually look at this? Really look. What do you see? And more importantly, what do you not see? You don't see any buildings, any roads, anything, right? And they're going to say that's too high, so how could you possibly see it? So then we look at this, and we're seeing lights. What lights are we seeing? What lights are strong enough that we're seeing them from space, but we can't see any buildings? This is Ireland from space. No buildings, no roads, no nothing. This is Ireland from space at night. You can see lights. What are those lights? Why are you seeing lights? This is Italy from space during the day. Italy from space at night. Can't see a single structure, anything during the day, but you can see street lights at night, house lights, porch lights. I got it. Maybe they're lighters from a Taylor Swift concert. That must be it. And for those of you who stuck around through this, while I was searching through the NASA footage to find this, I found this cool little thing. What do you think's happening here? It's supposed to be from NASA's live feed, and for those of you who say it's not, here you go. ISS. All we're asking is that when you see stuff like this, think logically, think independently. And of course, don't forget to watch the Phone Booth podcast. Peace.
This video is for everyone that sucks at brushing your teeth. And if you don't think you suck at brushing your teeth, you probably do, because most people don't understand the basic concept of brushing their teeth. That's not your fault. That's your hygienist's fault for not explaining it to you. So we're going to go over it today because it's the first step in good oral hygiene, and I think everyone needs to know it, okay, because a lot of people don't. So this video is for people that don't have an electric toothbrush or can't get an electric toothbrush. I don't mind manual toothbrushes as long as you are brushing properly and effectively. The first step is brushing twice a day. 2 times a day. It takes 12 to 24 hours for that plaque, that soft stuff, to start mineralizing. Once it mineralizes into tartar, you can't get it off with a toothbrush, and I have to take it off. So 2 times a day, morning and night. I can't tell you how many patients I have that only brush at night or only brush in the morning, and it drives me freaking nuts. Another thing, do not come in my chair with a hard toothbrush. Do not do it. I will toss that in the trash. Don't tell me you do it. I don't want to know. It drives me nuts. You're basically just brushing off your enamel. Don't use a hard toothbrush. I don't even know where people are getting them from because I don't even really see them in the stores anymore. Extra soft or soft is the way to go. Okay? Next thing, get yourself a timer. This is my children's timer. It was $1.50 on Amazon, I think. And if you don't have a timer, you have a cell phone. Use your cell phone. And do not come in my chair and tell me I brush my teeth for 2 minutes and you don't use a timer, because 2 minutes is an eternity. And I guarantee you're only brushing for like 30 seconds, even though you feel like it's 2 minutes. Okay? Just don't tell me that unless you're using a timer. Okay? Second off, let's talk about where you place your toothbrush. Okay? And yes, this is a baby toothbrush. I found it in the back of my car. It's my daughter's. No idea how it got there. No idea how long it's been there. And yes, it's going to go in my mouth. I don't care that it's probably dirty. I have snotty kids and I work in healthcare and it doesn't bother me, okay? So I don't need you to go in the comments and say that. 45-degree angle, right here, into your gum line. Not on the tooth, not on your gum, into the gum line. Focus right here. You have a big parotid gland right here. Lots of salivary glands, and salivary glands create plaque, and plaque creates tartar. So right here, and then down here. When you're brushing down here, push your toothbrush down. You should feel this on the bottom of your mouth. That's it. 2 times a day for 2 minutes. Extra soft toothbrushes right at the gum line. That's my rant and my little tips for the day.